Join me for my Artist Alley experience at LA Comic Con, and stay to the end for my final thoughts. I hope you enjoy! Welcome to LA Comic Con 2024. It's Friday morning and Artist Alley moves in the day of the event. So we come in early before the event starts at noon. I need to make 2 trips with the dolly. First, I transport and set up my infrastructure equipment that create the base foundation of my table, like my tablecloth. I've done enough events to make a mental note of how to pack my goods so I can access those first. On my second trip, you can see that the entrance of the West Hall is pretty close to my table, which is exciting. And now my tablecloth is set up and ready as a blank canvas. This is me coming back from my second trip to the car with the rest of my goods. I love these crates. You can get them at Michael's or Home Goods, and they not only store some of my equipment, but they also are my infrastructure for my display setup. I got here early so I can take my time filming and you can see how I set things up. After loosely organizing where everything should roughly go, I'm taking out my banner. Besides setting up the tablecloth, I do this step, otherwise it gets harder to deal with the heavier stuff on top of the tablecloth. And I use safety pins to secure this banner. I got this banner because it's quite versatile, because sometimes events have a back wall display that you can hang things on, so it could serve as a back banner, and then it kind of serves as like those table runners here in this case. Next, I am setting up the countertop display shelf, which I really love. It's super portable and easy to put together. I recently upgraded to a slightly longer version, so I'm excited to debut that here. Next, I'm setting up the retractable banners. I think they add so much instant oomph and they look really polished. I originally started with this jellyfish design and now I have the second one to round things out. It's such a treat when you get to upgrade and reinvest in your business. One thing I really love about LA Comic Con is that they give you an 8-foot table, which is awesome. It's so spacious that I'm taking the opportunity to install the biggest version of my setup, which is when I include a photo stand in the back with hanging art. I actually bought this photo stand for LA Comic Con last year because I knew there was so much space that I got to utilize. I like to switch up my presentation depending on the vibe of an event, whether it's an artist alley, a convention, a maker's fair, and so on, but this is definitely my biggest setup. I use gold binder rings and binder clips to set up my art. And I also have a portfolio book that you can flip through to see the art up close because sometimes the backdrop art feels a little farther away. I also have a lot of fun setting up my mini prints and arranging them on the shelf. Sometimes there's not even room for all of them because I have so many designs, so I'll switch things up during the course of a weekend. It's fun to let people mix and match. Also, my season-inspired ballerina prints just arrived in time, so I quickly prepped them the night before. Usually when I make new art, I try to debut them as small prints. That way I can see what the audience response is and how popular it is. And then for some really popular ones, then I know I can order a huge batch of them, so I always have inventory for future events. Or they can get upgraded to a larger print, especially if people request. I think because small prints are easier to transport and store, they're a little bit more low stakes for if you're testing out a new design. That way you can figure out if you want to order more or retire that design after you sell out of that batch of prints. Here's the table all together. So much art! An 8-foot table's worth of art. Honestly, sometimes when people come to my table, there's so much to take in. I think people don't see everything because it's just a little overwhelming. I should probably curate things a little bit more. Milo has a tip jar, which is really sweet and it's a great conversation starter, especially with his photo. I highly recommend if you table at artist alleys. And on this end of the table, here is a closer look at the portfolio book that you can flip through. I originally got it for San Diego Comic Con because at that artist alley, you share an 8-foot table, so you only have 4 feet of table space. So the portfolio book is really fun for people to flip through, and I think people really enjoy like just browsing and getting to see everything all in one place, especially up close. Here is what the back of my space looks like. It looks a little chaotic, but I promise it's organized chaos. And I even brought a comfy mat to stand on. And And then here is a view of my aisle. Everyone is busy concentrating and setting up for the big event, so I'll say a proper hello later. Here is Peach Slice Creations. We were neighbors last year, which was so much fun. And yeah, I love browsing Artist Alley myself, so this is my chance to walk around. Also, this is the view from my table. The entrance is right there for West Hall, and this is 30 minutes before opening. And then the day officially starts 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Got my snacks, cheers. I love this canned coffee for solo shows. My favorite part of the event is just meeting everyone. She had my sticker on her phone case, and I love seeing old friends and new. Everyone looks amazing, and it's also great people watching throughout the whole weekend, so it's very entertaining for me. I had shared this with someone coming by, but this is my column of fan art, aka Best Girls. I have a long list of fan art I want to do whenever I find time. My lovely friend Casey brought me goldfish. I always appreciate the snacks. And then my new friend Ryan also brought me fudge because they had a buy 2 get 1 free deal. I was running low on these Princess Serenity holo stickers, so I had to restock. And then finally we reached the end of the day. Low-key, this was my mood because it was finally 8 p.m. After dinner, I started working on a commission I received to draw Show Yourself Elsa, which was super fun and relaxing. And that was the end of Friday. I love Shinobu, and I actually wore this last year at LA Comic Con, but it's just so fun and it's pretty easy to throw on for a quick cosplay. And it's Saturday, so the crowd is already starting to look pretty packed before the entrance. Saturdays tend to be the busiest for cons, and this was no exception. I think I made 3 times what I did on Friday.
I went home and sketched last night's collection for a new friend, Ryan. He's so nice, and he gave me this Shinjuku board, so I'm drawing to Show Yourself Elsa. And of course, I love any excuse to draw Elsa, so of course I had to do it.
My favorite part of all these events is just getting to meet everyone, seeing old friends and new. Everyone is so sweet and supportive. Ashley got me snacks and visited from her table in South Hall. Fellow artist Kristen Wong was in West Hall with me and we traded. I love these droid stickers. Look at them. So cute. Of course, we gotta have BB-8. Ah, so cute. Someone gifted me this cute hair star clip too. Thank you. Also, someone left me these Sailor Moon stickers. I didn't even get to see who it was, so thank you. Also, I'm obsessed with Fire Emblem, so selling out of this art means I can make new updated fan art. And this is so sweet, but I love seeing how you arrange my art on your walls. Like, I can't believe my art is just hanging in your bathroom and it looks so nicely arranged, so that's amazing. That honestly made my day. Thank you. And that actually wraps up my Saturday footage because it was a busy day running things solo. And then onto Sunday. I hadn't had a chance to browse South Hall at all, where main Artist Alley was, and I wanted to visit my friends' tables. So I arrived early on Sunday just so I can make sure I could visit, even if not everyone was like at their setup table yet. But here's a little visual of how West Hall is connected to South Hall. It's this really long hallway. So we are pretty separated, and then this is the main lobby of South Hall. I reflect more on this at my thoughts at the end of the video, but basically we kind of outgrew South Hall in terms of Artist Alley, so they added a little section of us in West Hall. But it was just sad because I was looking forward to seeing my friends and a lot of them were in South Hall, so I couldn't really spend that much time seeing them, especially because I was running solo. You can see there's a lot of exhibitors here as well, some really cool sites and shopping, and then the big section of Artist Alley is here. Let's browse together. Time to gear up with my Attack on Titan jacket and then take on the day. Last day, let's go! My sweet friend Hannah visited from Ashley's table where she was helping. I love seeing my Disney coworkers out in the wild, and I just love meeting everyone, so thank you so much. I did take a moment during a lull to just walk around South Hall too, just to see the action and visit some friends like Kelsey and Kristen. Look how cute her diva accessories are. I'm so glad we got the table near each other again. I met these two cosplayers last LA Comic Con and they always look amazing. I just love seeing everyone's outfits and it always inspires me to draw. Here's a quick drive-by of Casey Robbins' table. She was with the Lorcana team. That's her husband holding down the fort. I love Casey's work. She's super talented, inspiring, and we've been neighbors at events before. And then it was back to my table to round out the rest of the day. The books actually were doing really well, which I'm really grateful for. And to round things out, Ryan came up and picked up his commission. It was a blast. Thank you, Ryan. And then finally, it was time to pack up. I was determined to make one trip with the dolly. Kind of ambitious considering I came in doing 2 trips, but this is a little bit more consolidated. And yes, there was a line of all of us waiting for the elevator, but we all made it through to finish out the day. I was really excited to decompress at home with my cat, and I think he was happy too. Hey everyone, it's been a couple days since LA Comic Con, and I'm just been resting and recouping and preparing for the next one because I have Lightbox Expo coming up soon. But thank you so much if you came by. I had so much fun. If you can tell from my prep vlogs, I'm kind of like an art hermit these days and just working in solitude and prepping, which I also really enjoy. I would describe myself as an extroverted introvert, but it was really fun to meet everyone in person, just get to talk and connect finally in person. So it was really great. Thank you so much if you came by, or I hope to see you at the next event. And thank you so much for watching this video. I want to do more vlogs when I attend events, so if there's anything you want me to cover, I'd love to hear. I will do my best to see if I can cover that. I thought the event was good. It was very, very chill in all senses of the word. I did hear from some people that it was pretty quiet for them, and because we were split in West Hall and South Hall, it's a little bit hard to compare our experiences. And I feel like everyone's mileage varies anyways. Just wanted to share some of my thoughts. I have this crazy tracking sheet system, especially when I run solo. I'm very visual, so instead of a spreadsheet, I have images of my artwork, and it's a whole thing. I can share it sometime if anyone's interested, but I just ran through all the numbers, and to be honest, it's I really want to LA Comic Con because it is local to me, so I don't have to pay for hotels. I just have to pay for transportation and parking, so gas money, and then parking each day was $30, which is pretty steep. What else? I did well for me, but I would caveat that I'm not a super big artist. I'm not throwing in crazy numbers when I'm tabling. LA Comic Con last year was December 2023, and this year it was October 2024, so not even a full year since the last event. And it was interesting because we were earlier in the year, so we're not competing with a lot of the holiday markets, but at the same time you're kind of not getting the holiday shopping crowd or that kind of mentality. So I was curious how we would do. And then the other interesting thing is last year I was part of Artist Alley in the South Hall, and I guess this year what happened was that Artist Alley got so big that they added a West Hall area. So if you're familiar with the format, and I kind of showed in my tour, but if you're familiar with the format, there's a really long hallway concourse to get from one area to the other. So I first saw on an Artist Alley Discord, people were not really sure, or they were pretty skeptical of West Hall and how good it would be because we'd be separated from everyone else. It was interesting. I'm not sure. It's not a 1-for-1, but I would have friends texting me from South Hall, the main Artist Alley, and say it was a ghost town, and it wasn't too bad over here where I was in West Hall. But then it was pretty spacious in front of me if you've seen the footage, so it was never a situation where it was so crowded and people swarmed my table, so you never really felt like it was busy, but that could have been a deceptive thing just because it was so spacious in front of us. And then my neighbor from Juicebox Pins, he had a great time. He was I was not sure, but I will totally do this again next year and ask for the spot in West Hall. And I had another friend who was saying that she felt like because the area was so small, we had a little bit more foot traffic and people were more comfortable browsing our area because it just felt very manageable. And I really think that could be the case because when you go to South Hall, it's overwhelming. There's so many rows to browse and I think it's exciting, but if you're really tired at the end of the day and you made it all the way through everything and get to South Hall, it can be a lot. So I felt kind of lucky that we were like this like bite-sized area that people could really feel comfortable exploring in a short amount of time. But yeah, it was interesting. I didn't do too bad. My numbers are actually like very similar to last year's. It's a little bit higher, but if you count for like inflation and everything, it's pretty much even. And also I did get some friends advising me that my numbers or like my prices were a little bit low. So I did increase them slightly to you know, again, like match with inflation and just be a little bit more average for the general market pricing. So there was that as well. So I did a little bit better than I did last year, but like barely, like marginally, like you can't really tell a difference. It was fun. I do want to do it again. I think some people felt like they're not gonna come back. I would, and I want to like it and I want it to do well just because I am local and it would be easy for me. Everyone wants, you know, their local con to do well so they can continue to return, and I really like the crowd. Like, it's very chill. If San Diego Comic Con is like crazy insane, this is like the very chill like sibling convention. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. They had some really cool signings like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, so there's some good attractions. But yeah, I wouldn't say like this is the most hype event ever, so that's kind of like the lay of the land and some caveats, and definitely that new variable of South Hall and West Hall was a very interesting shakeup. Ooh, something I also really appreciated is that they do give you an 8-foot table, so it feels very spacious, which is super nice and comfortable for when you have a long weekend ahead of you. I also feel like the crowd is really chill and they're super friendly, and because it's not super crazy or it wasn't super crowded in front of my table, you can have like a full-on conversation and we can like nerd out about our favorite anime or characters, things like that. And I feel like that's like one of the special parts of like connecting with people is like getting to see an in-person audience. So I really appreciated that aspect. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.